So, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, happy Diwali to everybody around the world, especially the epicenter, which is India. So, all of you should have your hopes, wishes, and desires come true as long as it's not towards hurting other people. Okay? Go get your $1,000,000. That's what I say. So today, we're going to be covering and talking about the influence on your seventh lord regarding your marriage. Meaning, when your seventh lord is conjunct a planet or aspected by a planet, how does it influences your spouse? So, what are some of the behaviors of the spouse that you can see through the influence? Because we have covered seventh lord through houses. Okay, I don't know if I've covered seventh lord being a certain planet. And you can apply this with seventh lord, planet conjunct your dharakarka, meaning planet with the lowest degree. And for men, Venus. For women, Mars. And if you need to know what your planet is, which planet is your dharakarka, the lowest planet degree, you can go to curiousastrology.com. Under shop section, you'll find option 6 where you'll see the report that you can see literally on the second page, which one is your DK. That's the abbreviation, dharakarka, along with all your astrological details. And I'm uploading quite a bit of videos on using remedies through blank chart predictions. Meaning no planets in any chart, but you're just seeing how one thing can activate the other thing. So that's under the blank chart prediction course as well. So let's start with your seventh lord conjunct sun. So what happens when seventh lord is conjunct sun? Number one, your spouse is going to have tremendous amount of pride. They'll have very strong ego. They will be very demanding. They are going to become very punctual. They're going to become very authoritative in life. They're the ones who will demand perfection within the marriage. Okay? Now, is this something that you're looking for? No, that's a different thing. This is something you're getting. Whether it's your seventh lord, dharakarka, Venus, Mars. Okay? And you will see when your seventh lord is conjunct sun, the spouse is going to want the equal authority within the marriage. Anything that is happening, it must go through them. It must be approved by them. Whether for a man it becomes the wife, whether for wife it becomes the husband. Why? Just think about it. How does a king behaves? King wants to be in charge of everything. King wants to approve of everything. King will get angry. King is proud of their lineage. King has the strongest ego. But one thing you will see with seventh lord conjunct sun, in public they will act extremely humble. In public they will always desire to give things. Your spouse, and especially this will show the strength of your sun. If your sun is strong, spouse will never take gifts from people or take things for free. Spouse will only want to give things. Spouse will always feel like I need to pay for this. I don't want it for free. They will never stand in line to attain some free food just because some new restaurant just opened up. No, they want to be the one, hey, I've got what I need. I'll pay for it. I don't need your free charity on this. And your spouse will be the type of person who will not like to follow people. Like, oh my God, they're madly in love with this celebrity, that celebrity. No, they feel like I'm a celebrity. Why? The celebrity needs to follow me instead of me following the celebrity. Okay, so this is the type of personality and things that your spouse will attain. Now, on the negative side, if there is a negative side to this, Spouse can become very childlike, throwing temper tantrums. If your son is behaving in a malefic manner, spouse will humiliate you in public, or will try to always put you down in public so they can feel that they're more important. Because there's going to be a lot of insecurity with the spouse, a lot of self-esteem issues in the spouse. And this way you can see, if you are married, that if your son is working positively or negatively. That's what's going to happen. Then, seventh lord is conjunct moon. So if seventh lord is conjunct moon, the person is going to be a giver. The person is going to be a caretaker. The person is going to be extremely emotional and motherly and very selfish towards things related to family. They become the protector of family. They become the protector of the spouse, meaning you. Why? Because the behavior of the mother is there. Mother, whether you sometimes look at animals in the wild or you look at mammals like human, the first thing the mother is going to do is protect her child. She will give up her own life to protect the child. That's why they use the term like mama bear, right? If a mama bear, you go near that cub, she'll rip you apart and kill you. So this person becomes extremely protective towards marriage. Yes, there will be themes of jealousy, possessiveness that plays out. And you will also see that the spouse loves to move. They want to travel, they want to move, and especially the number one thing that spouse will require is peace and quietness. Peace and comfort. Because moon represents the peace of mind. Moon represents sleep, the quietness. So if your moon is positive, your spouse will want a nice, serene, quiet environment. If the moon is working malefic, the spouse is going to desire to be in a place which is filled with noise. Spouse is going to desire to have, or not desire, they will naturally express themselves through jealousy and possessiveness. When you call them, or they'll call you, like, where are you at? What are you doing? Who you're with? Okay. And especially then spouse, you will also see with seventh lord conjunct moon, and if moon is working negatively, the spouse will play psychological warfare, psychological mind games, because they're not getting what they need. And especially you will see with seventh lord being with moon, usually again, like the meeting of the spouse, and the first initiation will happen when you're traveling or they're traveling. Spouse will also get bored at one spot a lot. They will desire to either move or travel within the marriage. Now, moon is a type of planet. You may think that it represents the home. The wife wants to have a home, one place to live. The husband would want one place to live. Yes, but guess what? That mood will change. Once they settle into one place and it's been a while, they will feel irritated. They will feel like we got to find something new. Let's find something new. Okay? So that will happen. Then, if your seventh lord is conjunct Mercury, you will see your spouse will always try to make a deal with you. They will always try to make a business deal with you, or you'll try to make a business deal with them. For example, your spouse is like, I want to go on vacation. Okay. They're like, yeah, we can go on a vacation, but it has to be at this spot and we're going to stay at this hotel. Deal? Or if you want to go on vacation, then I want to get a pool table for our playroom. If I can get that, we'll go on vacation. So business deal becomes active. Naturally, with seventh lord conjunct Mercury, the spouse wants a friendship more than even a companionship of marriage. They are looking for communication like a best friend would communicate. They want to have a child's play. Like two friends hanging out at the tree in the middle of the day. And because Mercury is there, okay, if this Mercury is not working well, you will see during the most intimate of time, spouse will start calculating things. They will start nitpicking things around. They'll be like, wait a second, did you shave? Or wait, did you, take a shower today? Or why is it that you put that thing there? This is like during the time of intimacy. Why? Because Mercury is calculations. Okay? Mercury has a romantic side, which is a playful side in romance. Mercury is not the one who wants to kiss near the beach. That's Moon and Venus. Mercury adds the factor and flavor in romance that, hey, why don't we go here and go to this place and watch this movie and play these games and go to miniature golf. That's the play that Mercury brings. So within the marriage itself, if this Mercury doesn't work well, if it's working well, there will be playfulness. And if there is maleficness, there will be calculations. There will be budgeting when it comes to marriage. They will always nitpick and criticize something related to the spouse. And so Mercury has the best ability to kill romance because they'll calculate things in their head. They'll be like, why is this here? Why isn't that here? Did I pay the bills? Did I do this? Did I do that? While trying to be romantic with you or intimate with you. But like I said, the marriage revolves around always business deals. Like, for example, if your Mercury is with your fifth lord or Mercury is in the fifth house, you're going to make business deals with your children. Okay, let's do this. If you can complete your homework, you get this. That's what you'll do. So that's why you're doing that same thing in the marriage. Spouse will be extremely good at announcing things. Spouse will love to market things to you. They're like, check this out. This fridge can do this and this and this. And guess what else it can do? It can also do this. That's great, huh? So, and look at the deal that is there. It's 30% off and it's only till next Saturday. We should get this. So you see, whenever they want something, instead of saying I want this, they will try to advertise it. Because Mercury likes to promote something. They want to talk about something before they just say, see, Saturn could be very direct. Hey, we need this, get this. Mars will be very direct. We need this, get this. Mercury's like trying to swindle you into that glorifying, mesmerizing advertisement. Okay, but they need minute communication at all times with Mercury. And there will be a childlike behavior that comes out that can be annoying. That's not a good or bad Mercury. That is just Mercury. So don't think that's a bad Mercury. It's just that's who they are. They'll become childlike. Especially Mercury becomes your Dharakarka. Or becomes your Dharakarka or their Dharakarka. Then seventh lord is conjunct Venus. When seventh lord is conjunct Venus, sacrifice is the number one thing within the marriage. Devotion becomes the most important thing in the marriage. This person will be very devoted in their life to you. They want beauty. They want cleanliness. They want appreciation. They want to be in an environment that is serene and comfortable. Doesn't have to be rich, but it needs to be without blemishes. with Venus conjunct the seventh lord. I mean, it's a beautiful combination where the companionship and devoting yourself, the spouse will devote themselves to you in a companionship. Your spouse becomes an excellent negotiator. The spouse will show tremendous amount of stubbornness. When they are stuck on something, that's it. They want that. But if this Venus is great, then sacrifice becomes important for them. That means compromise becomes important for this Venus. And with seventh lord with Venus, you will see that immediately if you do not have a vehicle, usually with the coming of the spouse, the vehicles becomes active. So whether your Dharakarka is conjunct Venus, seventh lord is conjunct Venus, Mars is conjunct Venus. Okay. But no matter what the planet is, when Venus adds its flavor onto that planet, it'll add the flavor of grandiousness. Like naturally, you will want to do things in a more perfect manner, in a more beautiful manner for this person. They're going to require beauty and arts around them. They're going to cherish things that speaks for the culture. They love culture. You will see this particular person will love to attend all kinds of festivities, all kinds of cultural events. The home needs to represent a culture. It can't just be some modern home. This person will bring culture. That means if they're living in a foreign country, they will want to have a painting of, let's say, India and showing the Rajasthani painting and Rajasthani, artwork that they have. That's what becomes of this particular Venus. And especially with Venus conjunct, seventh lord. If the spouse handles money, money grows, especially when spouse, and especially if Venus is conjunct the seventh lord, let your spouse handle your finances, especially for men. And this is especially for men, Venus becomes very important. It's Lakshmi. No matter how much you feel, oh, my spouse will spend it all and all that. No, let them manage your money once. Try it. And I always tell people, don't trust me. Test me. Let them handle your money for a month. Hey, you tell me how much we save, how much goes into the bill, how much goes into this. When you give that responsibility to the spouse, you will see how suddenly you end up paying the least amount of money in the expenses and saved more money. Give them that responsibility. Say, my finances are at your feet. Okay, because the unionship energies conjunct the energy of Lakshmi. Let them handle finances. They're bringing finances for you, money for you in your life. Then, when seventh lord is conjunct Mars. When seventh lord is conjunct Mars, your spouse is going to be impulsive. Impulsively jumping into things. Perhaps they impulsively jumped into the relationship with you, marriage with you. Impulsive, aggressive, assertive, direct, straightforward. They're going to be in a commanding position. And one place where this may not work out in a way, if you are an Aquarius ascendant. If you're an Aquarius ascendant and your seventh lord sun is conjunct Mars, it's like you're putting two top tier chefs in one kitchen to make one dish. There's going to be disputes and there's going to be power struggles. This is Sun Mars conjunction. You may think it's friend, but it's power struggle. One is a king, the other is a commander in chief. And the day and age we're living in, commander in chief has a more power than a king because there's no king. Like in US, we call the president commander in chief. That is Mars. And you will see they become extremely blunt towards things. They don't even, there's no compromise, there's no sacrifices. Like, this is it. Do or die. Take a hike. Hit the road, Jack. But one place where this can work extremely well is if you want somebody to stand behind you as you fight the world, because they'll be there. If the Mars is behaving good, you will see that your spouse will always tell you time to time, no, go do this. I'm behind you. How do you know if that Mars is negatively working with your seventh lord? As soon as the spouse says, you can go ahead and do it, you're on your own. That will give you the indication that this person is very independent. They have done things by themselves in life, and they expect you to do things by yourself. That means this Mars is behaving in an energy of freedom. For them, individuality is the most important thing instead of unionship. A good Mars will be like, they tell the king, you stay back, I'm going to go fight. But as soon as the Mars says, dude, it's your fight, you better go there now. I'm good, I've done my part. That's the bad Mars conjunct the seventh lord. And when Mars is also conjunct your seventh lord, you will see such a person. The biggest transformation that happens is of Mars's impact on the seventh lord. The biggest transformation related to money, related to material things, or even in a negative form, a transformation happens when Mars is conjunct Saturn. Or Mars, I keep saying Saturn, Mars is conjunct the seventh lord. Okay. And you will also see this spouse of yours would naturally deal with a lot of cuts, burns, bruises. Especially in a man's chart, spouse would desire to do a C-section versus natural birth. But this is more of, like, I would say 60%. Rest you have to see their fifth house and how their saptamsha is. But the thing is, they become quite injury prone. And that's because they want things done right away. They're rushing into things to do things. So this is seventh lord conjunct Mars. Then you have Jupiter. Seventh lord conjunct Jupiter, the spouse will require morality, the spouse will require honesty and principles. If these three things are being met by you, the marriage is going to be great. You want you're getting a spouse who is very strict on principles, very strict on morality, honesty, dharma. The spouse, even if uneducated, don't have much of the degrees in education or accolades in educational field, their advice will always work. When you have your seventh lord conjunct Jupiter, seek the advice of your spouse. Whatever they say will happen. Whatever, if they say don't do this is not going to work, this is not going to work. If this is going to work, it's going to work. When your spouse just gives you the advice themselves, why are you doing this? This is what's going to happen. And then you're like, no, I'm good. You don't know much. And then you're like, oh, you're right. Yeah, this was a bad idea. Trust me, I have said this to my wife enough. Okay? And I know I'm still not going to learn. But the thing is, it's all about honesty. Honesty and principle. And spouse will be a strategist. They are very good at scheming and strategizing things. Then when you meet this person with seventh lord conjunct Jupiter, one of the first conversation will be, I really want children. I really want to have a family. So those are some of the first things that you will try to see with this person. They have, and especially with Jupiter conjunct the seventh lord, the spouse has a big heart. Here, you want this? Take it. You want to do this? Take it. Okay. But yeah, spouse is going to become the guide. A spouse is going to become, uh, you know, like a beacon of morality for you. On a negative end, if this particular Jupiter is not behaving the way it's supposed to, okay, the spouse is going to demand respect. Spouse is going to demand control of the finances. If Jupiter is working good, they'll be like, I don't care, you take care of the finances. If Jupiter is not working correctly, or somehow it's behaving malefically, spouse will be like, I need to have a control of the money. We need to get this, we need to get that, and we need to grow in our marriage so we can have these material things. They're going to more focus on how they look outside to the world versus what they are inside. They're going to more focus on their look and status more than having that heart connect with that person. Time to time, everybody, it's okay if you say a little bit, yeah, we should have a bigger house. We should have this. That's fine. I'm not talking about that. But once they become determined to that, hey, we have to make 2 million a year. We have to live in this neighborhood. I want to live in this neighborhood. I need to do this with the money. No, you can't do this with this. When that demand comes in, that's when Jupiter is behaving malefically. And there could be many reasons. Your Jupiter may not be impacted by malefic planets. But certain other strings could be activating that malefic side of Jupiter. Which again, I don't want to explain here. It's going to be too long. Then 7th Lord conjunct Saturn. Spouse is going to be all about duty, commitment, sacrifice. Spouse will give they want to be in a companionship. They're like your 7th Lord conjunct Saturn is like it's wanting to serve you. It's wanting to come towards you. Because that's what Saturn wants. Why do you think Saturn is exalted in the 7th house in Libra? It says this is my karma. I have to serve the marriage. I have to protect the marriage. I have to give my sacrifice to the marriage. Everything to the marriage. Yes, Saturn is not romance. Saturn is not like a romantic planet, like a Bollywood, Raj and Simran. But Saturn is more like the character of Ajay Devgan in Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam. Okay, I'm here. Or like, I think, what was it? That Shah Rukh Khan movie. It was Yash Chopra's movie where he had to change his thing to impress his wife and all that. That's Saturn. But this person will come out very cold, dry, bleak. There's no humor. They will lack a little bit of humor. And you will see over time, marriage becomes more about paying the bills, taking care of the mortgage, taking care of the children, focusing on promotion more than that lubricancy that you need in the marriage, that moistness that you need in the marriage, that love and that connection. No, it becomes quite dry and detached. Okay, so when 7th Lord is with Saturn, ultimately you as an individual begin to detach from that partner. It's like you're like, I'm here. I'm doing my thing. Here, all the bills are paid. Everything is in. Okay, that's it. It's like Saturn, furthest planet through our eyes, just working in the background, moving slow, doing its thing, giving all the karmas to us. That's what's happening. Okay, it's not here involved like the moon. It wants to be in the background. So as your marriage progresses, you just want to go more and more and you just want to seep more into the background than being like brouhaha. Okay, and naturally, the seventh lord with Saturn, the person's going to act more mature than you, even if they're younger than you. They're going to try to behave like they're your father or elder brother or elder sister. Okay. Then, and also, you will naturally will have a spouse who needs to work, wants to work. They cannot be, even you know, you can have all the money in the world, and if they're not working, they're dying within. They're here to serve. They're here to work. They're here to give themselves into service. And this is one of the things. If your spouse feels depressed, is most likely because they're not working. You should show them a hobby, give them a hobby, have them do something, even volunteer work. So never tell your spouse, no, don't do this. You want to stay home. You want to take care of the kids. They'll get depressed. I don't care how well your income is. They have to do something. Even if it's, like I said, volunteer work in some ashram, volunteer work in some hospice care. They need to work. Okay. Then we're obviously going to talk about nodes, Rahu and Ketu. So your seventh lord is conjunct Ketu. Naturally, you're going to first desperately like to be within the concept of marriage and relationship. You'll see you'll be rejected 2 or 3 times before you meet the person and get married. But then suddenly, as the marriage happens, some separation, detachments happen. Like whenever seventh lord is conjunct Ketu, either a person starts traveling, or you get such a type of property where they're in one end of the room, one end of the home, you're in the other end of the home. Naturally, seventh lord conjunct Ketu, oh boy, they will criticize that and nitpick the hell out of you. For them, nothing matters except perfection. And the only way the marriage works there if 2 people are in a spiritual unionship. They're doing spiritual sadhanas together. Otherwise, it's going to feel like you're married to some scientist. For them, it's all about experimentation. For them, it's all about proving something. It's all about perfecting something with Ketu. And nonsensical actions will be taken by the spouse. Sporadic actions will be taken by the spouse. Why? Because spouse will just feel like, hey, I just felt like doing this, so I did it. And they will not have any feelings towards it. No matter how much you make them feel guilty, they won't feel guilty. And you will see, and also seventh lord conjunct Ketu does not mean some divorce or separation. But what it does mean is that there is too much Agni and fire, like Mars, within the spouse or within the marriage deal. And at one point, it becomes very barren. So Ketu will make the marriage barren. Kind of like marriage that you may have witnessed with your grandfather, grandmother growing up. And the best way this can happen, though, the best way this marriage works, is either the person travels, or either they're working so much that you don't see them all throughout the day. But if you want to have that normal thing, we have to watch shows together, we have to go out shopping together, it's not going to work. Because naturally, the person will start feeling detached from you. You start feeling detached from them. It happens both ways. Okay. But that's what it's going to do. First, it's a complete desperation. I have to get married. Give it to me now. You get rejected twice. Third one works out. But what I'm saying here is after it takes place. Okay. But let's say, for example, your spouse is an astrologer, yoga teacher, accountant, lawyer. Then none of the other things that I just said would have to be done. Marriage may actually work out normally. Why? Because they're utilizing Ketu in their life, in their workspace. So now it's actually keeping Ketu busy in those particular things. Then you have Rahu. So 7th Lord conjunct Rahu, spouse comes with bundle of expectations. Number 1. Bundle of baggages from their own life, their own family. Ketu brings sudden surprises, sudden turns within the marriage, sudden turns within the relationship. And the person wants sudden changes always. Like you will see, your spouse, you got married, you have your home. One day you come home, the entire furniture's changed. Suddenly you see a complete different color on the wall. And you will see this person, your spouse, always somehow by themselves, just like pondering, looking at something. And you're wondering, why are they looking? And then they're like sitting like that. And you're like, hey, what's going on? Say, oh, nothing. Just trying to think about something. What they're doing, they're constantly scheming. They're constantly planning, constantly strategizing about something. Their senses are completely open and vibrant. And what happens with 7th Lord conjunct Ketu, your spouse gets tangled up into some situation and a web. They'll purposely get into business of other people. And what they'll do, they'll try to untangle and unsolve that cluster of string or something. That's what Rahu's job is. It brings you into your life so you get stuck into some web. And now throughout life, you're trying to clear yourself off of that web. That's what Rahu does. Naturally, with 7th Lord conjunct Rahu, you will see spouse will somehow come from a foreign place, very unorthodox situation. Marriage will take place in a very unorthodox place. Like Ketu can have you marry a Sikh person. Sikh, Punjabi, Jewish, Buddhist. But Rahu can simply represent somebody who's just different from your caste, culture, creed, caste. Okay? If, let's say, your 7th Lord is conjunct Uranus, it's like you've married the most strangest person. It's like you've married Tesla. You can't understand this person. And this person takes actions like I'm giving the Rahu's example. This person is going to be the black sheep. This person is going to be the tilted person in the society. The things that they do, the things that they want to do, the things that they might pursue in life, far different than 99.9% of the people. For example, all your siblings and cousins are married doctors, lawyers, and engineers and MBAs. You married a theater artist who is now in business of making things with clay. Yeah, they're doing well. But it's like, hello, completely different. Imagine my wife when she goes out, hangs out, meets people. Oh, so what do your husband do? He's an astrologer. Yeah, that's the type of things that you will see. Eccentric spouse. Sanki, as they call it. Very stubborn person. And Neptune, you can never figure this person out. And Neptune conjunct your 7th Lord, your spouse will always love things like Tantra, occult, mysticism, wanting to follow this guru. In the home, they will always like to bring these different remedial things. Oh, the crystal is here. And then this particular statue of this Devi is here and is doing this. They're you'll get the most creative person when your 7th Lord is conjunct Neptune. There's this hollow mystery with this person. Like you could be married for 10 years with this person. You're like, oh my God, I'm still trying to discover this person. And you'll just want to know more and more and more and more and go deep and deep and deep into who this person is, yet there's no end to it. And you will see, once you marry this person, strange things happen around you in your life. Otherworldly things can start happening in your life. Okay. So this was our 7th Lord conjunct these planets. Next time we'll do something. And remember, this is like, I can make this into 12 different parts regarding your marriage, your 7th house, your 7th lord. So this is just part 5. Part 6 will come soon. You'll see. Thank you.